Dear sisters, let me begin by asking you a simple question. What is true strength? Is it the ability to lift heavy weights? Is it to speak louder than others? Or is it something deeper, more divine, something that cannot be measured by the eyes, but only felt by the heart? God has created woman with a strength that the world often overlooks. It is not just in the body, but in the spirit. It is not just in the voice, but in the patience behind silence. It is not just in the face, but in the courage behind every tear. Today, I want to remind every woman sitting here, you are stronger than you think, wiser than you believe, and more powerful than the world tells you. Because your true strength is not borrowed from society. It is a gift from God Himself. Compassion is often mistaken as something soft, something delicate, something that belongs only to the weak-hearted. But the truth is exactly the opposite. Compassion is the hidden armor of the soul, a strength so divine that even the harshest storms cannot break it. When we speak of true power, we usually imagine force, dominance, or control. Yet, if you observe carefully, the greatest power lies in the heart that chooses to love when it has every reason to hate, that chooses to heal when it has every reason to hurt. That is the strength God placed deep inside a woman. The strength of compassion. Think of a mother. No matter how tired she is, she will get up at midnight if her child cries. Her body may ache. Her eyes may long for rest. But compassion awakens her spirit with a force that is stronger than any physical power. That is not weakness. That is not sort flowing through her. It is compassion that makes her cradle her child with patience, whispering comfort until the tears stop. And it is compassion that makes her smile, even though she is exhausted. But this power is not only for mothers. Every woman carries this divine strength within her. Compassion is the ability to step into another person's pain and still carry hope for them. Imagine a friend who is going through a difficult time. The easy choice is to walk away, to say it's not my problem. But a compassionate woman will sit with her, listen without judgment, and offer words of encouragement that can rebuild broken confidence. That small act of compassion can become the light in someone else's darkness. In daily life, compassion shows itself in the smallest details. It is the smile you give to a stranger who looks tired. It is the patience you show to someone who makes a mistake. It is the kindness you extend to yourself when you fall short. In all these moments, compassion is not weakness. It is divine strength in action. Let me share a story that reflects this. A young woman was working in a busy office where everyone was competing, rushing, and often ignoring each other. One day, she noticed a colleague sitting alone, eyes red from crying. Everyone else kept walking past, too busy to stop. But she chose to pause. She asked gently, "Are you okay?" That one question opened the door for her colleague to share her struggles. that she had been feeling overwhelmed, unseen, and unworthy. By simply listening and offering compassion, this woman gave her colleague a reason to feel valued again. Later, that colleague said, "That one moment gave me the courage to continue." Was it strength? Absolutely, because it takes far more courage to care than to ignore, far more bravery to open your heart than to close it. Compassion is strength because it heals what power cannot heal. Money cannot heal a broken spirit. Anger cannot restore trust. But compassion can reach the deepest wounds and gently remind them, you are not alone, you are loved, you matter. Sometimes the hardest person to show compassion to is ourselves. Women often carry the burden of perfection. To be the perfect daughter, the perfect wife, the perfect mother, the perfect worker. And in chasing this perfection, they forget to be compassionate toward themselves. But remember this, God did not create you to be flawless. He created you to be faithful, kind, and loving. True strength is in forgiving yourself when you fall short, in allowing yourself to rest without guilt, in treating yourself with the same compassion you so freely give others. Imagine a woman who fails in her first business attempt. She invests her time, her energy, her hope, and still things don't work out. Society may point fingers, saying she failed. But if she practices compassion towards herself, she will say, this is not the end. This is a lesson. That compassionate view of her own mistakes will give her the courage to rise again and try once more. And that is real strength. Compassion also has the power to transform relationships. A harsh word can break trust, but a compassionate word can rebuild it. In families, compassion is the glue that keeps people together. In communities, compassion is the bridge that connects different hearts. In workplaces, compassion creates leaders who inspire instead of intimidate. Everywhere you see compassion, you will see growth, healing, and peace. Remember, compassion does not mean letting others take advantage of you. It does not mean saying yes to everything or being silent in injustice. No, true compassion is guided by wisdom. It means standing firm, but with kindness, disagreeing, but without hatred, correcting, but without crushing. It is the strength to fight for what is right, without losing the softness of your heart. In the end, compassion is not just an act, it is a way of living. It is carrying the strength of God in your daily interactions, seeing His presence in every soul you meet. When you choose compassion, you are not just helping others, you are also becoming a mirror of God's love in this world. And that, my dear sisters, is the truest strength a woman can carry within her. Sacrifice is often misunderstood. Many think sacrifice is giving up something you love and therefore losing out. But in truth, sacrifice is not a loss. It is a gain of something higher, something more meaningful, something eternal. Sacrifice is not weakness. It is the truest expression of strength. It is the ability to put aside your own comfort for the well-being of others, to carry responsibilities that may feel heavy, but ultimately make the world lighter for someone else. And this strength is something God has placed abundantly in women. Look around and you will see examples of sacrifice in a woman's life at every step. From the moment she begins her journey as a daughter, she learns to adjust, to share, to think not only about herself, but also about the happiness of her family. When she becomes a mother, her life becomes an endless series of sacrifices. Nights of sleep exchanged for the comfort of her child. Personal dreams sometimes postponed, so her children can dream freely. Her own hunger ignored so others at the table can eat first. These are not small things. They are reflections of the divine strength God has gifted her. But sacrifice is not only about family. In daily life, women make sacrifices silently and gracefully in countless ways. A young woman working in an office may sacrifice her free time to help her team complete a project. A sister may sacrifice her own want so her younger siblings can study or pursue opportunities. A friend may sacrifice her comfort to be present for someone in pain. These acts are often invisible to the world, but they hold tremendous power because they show strength of heart. Think about this. Anyone can live selfishly, but it takes real strength to live selflessly. Sacrifice means you value love more than comfort, responsibility more than ease, and giving more than receiving. And this quality transforms not only the lives of others, but also your own life. Sacrifice builds character. It purifies the heart. It creates resilience. And it gives you the deep satisfaction of knowing that you were an instrument of God's love in someone's life. Let me share a simple story. A woman once dreamed of studying abroad, but when her father fell ill, she chose to stay back and care for him. At first, people said she gave up her dream. But years later, when she looked back, she didn't feel regret. Instead, she felt fulfillment because her sacrifice gave her father dignity in his last years. And in return, she gained something greater than her original dream. The strength of knowing she chose love over ambition, duty over desire. This is the hidden beauty of sacrifice. It often feels like you are giving up, but in reality, you are rising higher. Sacrifice also teaches us balance. It doesn't mean losing yourself completely. It doesn't mean ignoring your worth or being taken for granted. True sacrifice is guided by wisdom. It is not about saying yes to everything and exhausting yourself. Rather, it is about choosing consciously where your energy, time, and love are most needed, and being willing to bear discomfort for the sake of something greater. That choice requires immense inner strength. In today's fast-paced world, where people often chase personal gain, the strength of sacrifice shines like a rare jewel. Imagine two colleagues competing for a promotion. One only thinks about their own success, while the other steps aside, recognizing that their teammate deserves the chance more. The first person may win in the short term, but the second person wins something greater. Respect, integrity, and inner peace. That is the strength of sacrifice. Even in small everyday moments, sacrifice shows its power. A woman who wakes up early to prepare breakfast before heading to her own job sacrifices her rest. But she does it out of love. A woman who stays late at night helping her child study sacrifices her relaxation, but she does it with joy because she sees the potential in her child's future. A woman who chooses to forgive instead of holding grudges sacrifices her ego, but she does it to preserve peace in her heart. Every one of these sacrifices is a sign of strength, not weakness. Sacrifice is also a bridge that connects hearts. When someone sacrifices for you, you feel valued. When you sacrifice for someone else, they'd feel cherished. It creates trust, it deepens bonds, and it makes love more meaningful. That is why many of the strongest families and communities are built on sacrifice, because it is the silent foundation that holds everything together. But above all, sacrifice is sacred. It reflects the nature of God Himself, who gives endlessly without asking anything in return. When a woman sacrifices, she mirrors this divine quality. She becomes an instrument of God's generosity, showing that true strength is not in holding on tightly, but in letting go gracefully for the good of others. So, my dear sisters, never see your sacrifices as small or meaningless. Every time you give up a little comfort to bring joy, every time you put aside your own desires to support someone else, every time you choose responsibility over ease, you are showing one of the highest forms of strength. Sacrifice does not make you less. It makes you more. It is the invisible crown that God places on your soul, a reminder that your strength is not measured by what you keep, but by what you are willing to give. Faith is one of the deepest strengths a woman can carry in her heart. It is invisible to the eye, yet powerful enough to move mountains. Faith is not just belief in God when life is easy. It is the courage to trust Him when nothing makes sense, when the path is unclear, and when the night feels endless. Faith is the quiet voice inside that says, don't give up a better day. Will come even when the world around you says otherwise. In life we face many storms. Sometimes it is the storm of financial struggle, sometimes the storm of health issues, sometimes the storm of broken relationships. In those moments, strength is not found in wealth, beauty, or status. It is found in faith. Faith gives a woman the ability to stand firm when her world is shaking, to smile even when tears are close, to hope even when logic says there is no reason to hope. That is not weakness. That is strength given by God. Think of a farmer who plants seeds in the soil. He cannot see what is happening beneath the earth. Days pass, weeks pass, and still there is no visible result. Yet he waters the soil faithfully because he trusts that the seed will sprout in its time. In the same way, a woman of faith continues to nurture her life with prayer, with patience, with goodness, even when results are not visible. She believes that God's timing is perfect. And that belief itself gives her the strength to carry on. Faith also gives women the power to rise after failure. Imagine a woman who starts a small business. She invests her savings, works day and night, and still in the first attempt she faces loss. Many would say, "Stop trying. It's not for you." But a woman with faith says this failure is not the end. It is a lesson. If God has planted this dream in my heart, He will also open the doors for it. And with that faith, she tries again. And often it is that second or third attempt that brings her success. Without faith, she would have quit. With faith, she discovers her true strength. There was once a young girl who wanted to become a doctor, but her family struggled financially. She studied late into the night under a dim lamp, believing that her hard work and faith in God would carry her through. Many times she felt discouraged. Many times she doubted, but she never let her faith die. Years later, she graduated as a doctor, not only fulfilling her dream, but also lifting her entire family. Her strength was not just in her mind. It was in her faith that pushed her forward when circumstances were against her. In daily life, faith shows itself in small but powerful ways. A woman waiting for her child to recover from illness prays with tears, but also with hope. A woman searching for a job after many rejections continues applying because she believes the right opportunity will come. A woman going through heartbreak holds on to the belief that her pain will one day turn into wisdom. These everyday acts of holding on, of not giving up, of trusting the unseen, they are all proofs of faith strength. Faith also transforms how we see struggles. Without faith, problems look like walls. With faith, those same problems look like stepping stones. A faithful heart does not ask, "Why me?" but instead asks, "What is God teaching me through this?" That shift in perspective turns pain into growth, confusion into clarity, and weakness into strength. Sometimes faith is simply taking the next step without seeing the whole staircase. Life does not always reveal the entire path, but faith tells you, move forward. God will show you the way. This kind of courage is unique to faith, and it is one of the most powerful strengths a woman can carry. Faith also builds resilience in relationships. In families, misunderstandings will come. In marriages, challenges will arise. In friendships, differences may appear. A woman with faith does not abandon hope easily. She works. She prays. She believes that healing is possible. Her faith becomes the anchor that holds relationships steady during storms. Even when the world doubts you, your faith in God can make you unshakable. People may say you are not capable. Society may put limits on you. Circumstances may push you down. But faith whispers, "You are more than this. God is with you." That voice of faith becomes louder than all the voices of doubt. And that is what gives a woman the strength to rise above negativity. Faith also makes a woman fearless. When she knows God is guiding her, she does not fear the unknown. When she believes that every delay has meaning, she does not panic. When she trusts that her worth is defined by God, not by the opinions of others, she walks with dignity. Faith gives her the courage to live with purpose, without fear, without apology. So, my dear sisters, faith is not just a belief. It is living strength. It is waking up every morning with hope, even after a night of tears. It is trusting the process even when the outcome is invisible. It is holding God's hand in the dark, knowing He will lead you to the light. Faith is the greatest strength you can carry because it makes you unbreakable in times of trial, unstoppable in pursuit of your dreams, and unshakable in your trust that everything in life has meaning.